Hi, everyone. This is Jeff Clark of the new Paydirt Prospector here at the Metals Investor Forum conference in Toronto, Canada. And I have with me one of the companies that I've been recommending a lot recently. We have the VP of Exploration, Miles Rideout of Argentina Lithium Energy. Miles, thank you for joining me here at MIF.
Thanks for the invitation, Jeff.
Yeah. One thing I think everyone knows that I like to talk about first is the people behind the project. That's really important to me. And so I'm glad that you're here to talk about, the company. So first of all, tell me about the people that are behind it. Tell me about your background. You're the VP of Exploration, so you're in charge of a lot of that. So tell me about your background.
So I'm an exploration geophysicist by training, and I grew up in Canada, and I worked as an exploration geophysicist for 2 years in Canada, all over the north. And I moved to Chile in 1989, and I worked 8 years in the porphyry copper deposits of Chile. And then I moved to Argentina in 97, and I've worked on virtually every project, in every mineral project in Argentina. I've worked all over.
Wow.
And I've been much more focused in lithium over the last 15 years and full-time on lithium over the last 6 years.
Wow.
And so the lithium projects would be in the northwest, the Altiplano of Argentina. And our company is managed by the Grosso Group. So the Grosso Group is, they're an exploration company management group based in Vancouver. And they've been involved in Argentina for about 30 years. I've been working as a consultant with the Grosso Group since about 1998. And they've been focused on gold projects or precious metal projects and uranium projects. Now, well, they've made 4 world-class discoveries over 3 decades in Argentina, and we're looking to make major resources in the lithium space now in Argentina.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. One thing that perked me up a lot about this company, I wasn't really looking for a lithium company in Argentina, but one thing that perked me up was all of a sudden Stellantis, this major auto manufacturer and utility provider, invests the U.S. equivalent, I believe, of $90 million into this tiny lithium explorer it's not even in production yet. So why did Stellantis do that? And tell us about your relationship with them.
So they approached the Grosso Group exactly 1 year ago. And their objective, they have a large requirement, or they foresee a large requirement for lithium carbonate for battery production in Latin America. And it's a large requirement that they have. And so they see an opportunity with our group to get, from their perspective, a very good deal, an offtake agreement when we go into production on the projects. So the offtake agreement looks like 15,000 tons per year of lithium carbonate over 7 years, and they would get a discount on that. And that's a start, and they're helping us. Well, what we asked them for was 3 years of funding to get our 2 core projects into pre-feasibility or through pre-feasibility. Our anticipated requirement for that was $45 million US. They invested from their Peugeot subsidiary in Argentina, and they invested using Argentine pesos. And so the conversion, Argentina has a managed economy, let's say. So if you compare the official exchange rate to the actual purchasing power of the peso, there's about a 2-to-1 difference. So when we said we want $45 million to run the projects and develop the projects for 3 years, they said, we'll give you 90 paid in Argentine pesos. And we all understood how that works.
Yeah.
So we received those funds. That was, I think, October of last year. And we moved those funds into forms where they will not devalue. So we've prepaid drilled meters. We've invested in local stocks like the National Petroleum Company, and that stock's performing very well. And we converted to US dollars.
Great.
And so we're protecting those funds so that we can execute on our 2 core projects.
Yes. But why would they invest in you where you're not even a producer? Obviously, they see something there. What do you see that is actually going to produce lithium someday?
I think what's attractive are the 2 core projects. So our Rincon project, it's very close to the Chilean border, and we're situated right beside Rio Tinto. And this is where we've been drilling recently over the last 18 months. And we're producing the same brines that Rio Tinto Mining has on their Rincon project. And so, being adjacent to a major producer with equivalent grade brines, it's a very good sign that we can take this into production.
Yeah.
Then our second core project is a similar story. It's the Antofalla North property. It's on the Antofalla Salar, which is a very long salar. It's 150 kilometers in length and about 7 to 10 kilometers wide. The central part of Antofalla is held by Albemarle Corporation, the world's second largest lithium producer. And they've got both the salars I'm talking about, they're both good mid-grade salars. And so Albemarle has an enormous mid-grade resource at Antofalla, and our property is immediately adjacent, and we've got the entire northern stretch. We've got about the northern 27 kilometers of the basin. So I think what Stellantis see is a group that can execute in Argentina. The Grosso Group have demonstrated that. And then we've got two large properties adjacent to major producers. One of those properties, has been drilled, and we're drilling it out. That's the Rincon. Antofalla North, we don't have any drilling there yet. And so once we get drilling, it'll be very exciting to see if we can produce the same brines that Albemarle has.
That would be very exciting. Two projects that can actually go in production. Right. So, and speaking of that, tell us about 2024. What can investors expect to see in terms of progress, in terms of catalysts for the stock and things like that? Tell us what the plans are for this year.
Sure. We're drilling on Rincon right now. We finished our 12th drill hole, and we're extending. We're still finding the bottom of this sedimentary basin where the brine aquifer is. So we're currently extending one of our prior holes to greater depth because we didn't find the bottom of the aquifer yet. The plan is we've got at least 3 more drill holes to go in that core area, which is, I guess we have 3 property blocks on the Rincon Salar. That drilling should finish June or July of this year, and we'll be, we're currently working on the resource estimate with an external hydrogeological company.
That's great.
And we would hope to have a 43-101 compliant resource announcement, I would say by September of this year.
That's very quick.
There's 2 more projects to drill out. So this initial resource is so that we can move ahead with permitting so we can get a pilot plant going, but we're still drilling out 2 more properties at Rincon. And then on Antofalla North, we're in permitting right now for Antofalla North. We don't have any drilling. We have historic geophysics, and we've been building on that project. Just this week, we received our new exploration permit to run the geophysics on the project. So we're setting up a base camp over the next month or 6 weeks at Antofalla. There's a large geophysics program. A lot of our drilling is based on the geophysics. That's why I'm involved. And so we're drilling targets that we can see. I would expect that the second half of this year we'll be doing the reconnaissance drilling along the length of our Antofalla property. That'll likely be 6 drill holes. So I'd say for investors, the key points would be look for our initial resource, and then we'll at Rincon in September, and we'll be building that out, and look for the initial drilling on Antofalla. If we can produce strong mid-grades similar to what Albemarle has, it means it'll be a big project.
And what's a strong mid-grade? Like, what would you like to see there?
We're looking at grades in the range of 300 to 400 milligram per liter. That would be the equivalent to 300 or 400 ppm of lithium in these lithium brines.
Okay, great. And last question, real quick to wrap up here. Does the lithium price spiked big and then it's crashed and went right back down to where it all started? Does that affect you at all as a company in terms of what you're doing?
It does, but it's not a bad thing. From our perspective, we're funded for the next 3 years, and our peer group is now struggling to raise capital. So it's a really good time for us to acquire projects or to build out projects. I don't think we're looking at finding a new project, but certainly we would like to bulk up our current projects. So this is an opportunity. We're looking, and hopefully there'll be some announcements this year as we add on to our project position.
Oh, very exciting. So, well, thank you for joining me, Miles. I wish you all the best. We'll be watching. It's a stock that's recommended in Paydirt Prospector. I'm Jeff Clark at the Metals Investor Forum. Thanks for joining us.